Do you ever feel like going out and doing a little bit of plein air painting? The great outdoors. But you can't really be bothered? Try looking out your window. Bedroom windows are great. You're looking down on stuff, which means the horizon line is raised. Gives you a nice deep foreground with a lot of stuff going on. I've been drawing the view from my bedrooms for a long time now. It's generated quite a nice record of all the places that I've lived. But I'm not the only one either. Look at fabulous artists like Eric Ravilius and Stanley Spencer. They like a view from a bedroom window. Here's the view from my bedroom window at the moment. I'm looking down on a small lawn, a garden shed, a hedge and some houses beyond. I'm not trying to accurately record everything that I can see. I'm just using this as a springboard to make a painting. Right, this is what I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using a pencil, 2 brushes, a tray of watercolour. Because it's hard to assess the colour of a watercolour while it's in a solid opaque block in the tray, it's important to make a swatch card. The colour of watercolour is only apparent when light passes through it, hits the white of the paper and reflects back into your eye. I've got a couple of jars of water and a sheet of watercolour paper. Bockingford 300 gram cold press, if you want to be nerdy. It's also important to understand that this is just the way I'm doing it. It's certainly not the only way. There is no right or wrong way to paint and draw. Finding out what you and only you can do is half the fun. I start out by sketching out the big shapes. There aren't many. Hedge, shed, fence, house. Just a few very rough guidelines. Now I want to get some liquid colour down. I'm using a variety of yellows and greens for the foliage. I'm using a little terracotta for the brick of the house. And a grey for the shed and the fence. Getting a wash down like this soaks the paper, which means I can now start to paint wet in wet. This means that when I add more colour, it flows into the existing paint and mingles into the existing colour. This creates wonderful and unexpected results. Soft edges, backgrounds and blooms. I use a tissue to mop out a tree trunk that I've forgotten to avoid with paint. And the wrong end of my pencil to score in the washing line pole. I'm moving around the picture, not staying in one place long enough to get bored, just enjoying playing around with the paint, because, curiously, that playfulness shows in the finished painting. Here and there I'm using a brush stroke, but a lot of the time I'm what's called charging in, simply dotting in concentrated colour with my brush and letting the paint do the work. I'm also scratching, scoring, wiping and dabbing. When that initial wash of paint is dry, I'm grabbing a handful of pens. This is a water brush filled with ink diluted to grey. I've got black ink pens of various thicknesses, a propelling pencil, a white gel pen, and so on. Anything goes. I'm exploring mark-making possibilities. I'm looking for visual approximations, just suggesting textures here and there, and leaving the rest to the viewer's imagination. I think I'm nearly done. I pick up my paints again and, using the smaller brush, add a few spots of extra colour here and there.